My guest today is Pascal Jaillon, who leads the developer program at the startup Magnet. Welcome on the show, Pascal.
Thank you.
So could you tell us a bit about Magnet, what you guys are doing?
Yeah, Magnet offers developers a suite of products to build great mobile applications, meaning apps that have a great experience online or offline.
Great. So these, your customers are not us consumers of apps, individual users. You are targeting the developers. That requires quite a different kind of marketing, right? How do you market to these developers?
Yeah, we don't really market to developers as much as we start conversation with them. Developers nowadays, they have a lot of choices in terms of product to use, and they need to see that what you offer will add value to their mobile app, to their architecture, to their development process or their operational process. Long gone is the time when management will actually have a list of approved products that developers will be using. Now, developers, architects, they all have a lot of choices of open source project, and they really will pick whatever makes the most sense for their mobile application, their mobile project.
So you're saying that individual developers are in the driver's seat, and those are the people you want to talk with, rather than their bosses and people running companies?
That's right. Developers, they really pick their tools. So you really need to provide something that adds something to their toolbox, that really add value to what they are, to the process they are doing every day.
So then how do you build such a product? I mean, if it's not aimed at the bosses, and you're not talking about return on investment and that sort of marketing, but you're targeting developers. That requires you have to build the product in a different way too, right?
Yes, and getting the developers really early on in the process of building your product is actually key. So you need to reach out to them super early when you even start, before you even start developing your product. And you can reach out to developers online or offline. If you are looking at the online communities, you will go typically to Twitter, Stack Overflow, Reddit, Google communities. For us, that was a great source of feedback. We engage early on.
Plus?
Yeah, Google Plus communities, sorry. Early on, we engaged with developers. We got great feedback, and that was very important to us to iterate with our product.
Okay, so that's where you meet them and start the conversations and get their feedback online. Where do you go to meet the developers offline?
Offline, and those days, your best bet is really the meetups. Especially here in the Silicon Valley, there are a lot of groups talking on a regular basis about different topics. So you pick the one that are close to what you are doing, the problems you are addressing with your product, and you try first to attend, to listen to what's going on there, and hopefully at some point you can have a spot to speak and to present and to again get feedback from developers about your product.
But when you stand up there at the meetup and talk to developers about your product, how do you make it not be a sales pitch? I mean, you want to sell your product, but developers are allergic to sales pitches. Even if you provide free pizza, if there's a sales pitch, they'll stop coming, right? How do you thread that needle?
That's right. So you don't want to be in a sales mode. You're there really to get feedback. So the last thing you need at this point really is dollars, just feedback. And there are a few prerequisites to get the right feedback from those developers. So before you even go there, make sure that again, you're building a strong product, addressing pain points that they have. And then build something with great experience. That's key in 2015 to build products that offer a great experience for developers. We're talking about the developer experience. It's very important.
What do you need to put in front of developers at that point for them to be able to provide this feedback?
So you need to show them like APIs, sample code. You need to show them like videos. Early on, we built some videos to show them how to use the product, even if it was a very early stage version of the product. And that's, again, the best way for them to quickly learn and adopt it, and again, provide feedback to you, which is so crucial at the early phase.
Mm. And what do you do beyond meetups?
So you can attend meetups as we did, but ultimately at some point we decided also to organize our own meetup. and we focus on the developer experience for mobile developers. And there again, the best way to run your own meetups is to not just talk always about your product. You have to invite partners, you have to invite other developers to talk about their products, and again, at the end, you end up sharing about what you're doing, but it's not just about you. You also share with a larger community.
So you're giving more than you're getting at this
point?
point?
That's right. Yeah. You give a lot. It's kind of like give, and then get.
Is that about the ratio, 1 to 3?
You need a bit more gives, actually, in the recipe.
Right. Where does the social media fit into this whole process?
So the social media is definitely important to get feedback as well, because you can target the local groups here, but when you build for a niche market or a small audience that's very targeted, the social media allows you to reach out to developers that you will not be able to get locally. So we went with the typical Twitter, Facebook, Google plus communities again was great here, and what you get is this ripple effect as well. While we were still reaching out to local developers, at the same time through the social media we were getting feedback from Russia, from Australia, or people in Spain and Italy filing bugs on GitHubs. Again, so that was really priceless for us at this point.
Right, because small startup, you don't have the resources to start physical meetups in Spain and Russia and all these places.
That's right, and the social media gives you this reach.
Yeah. Did you approach the Android and the iOS communities differently? I understand your product works on both.
So we really wanted to have a product that offers the same features for both platforms. We also realized that it was much harder to build this plugin. We went with a plugin architecture on Xcode and iOS because it was more like a closed environment. So we had to work with other projects on GitHub, learn from other developers that were doing something similar. On Android, that was a bit easier because it's more documented, and also there are many more plugins that were already developed, so it was a bit an easier process.
Got it. All right, great. Thank you very much for coming in and sharing your experiences with us, Pascal.
You're welcome.
We hope you found something you can use in your startup. Your input matters. Please leave your comments below. We read everything you write. To learn how Google can help your startup, go to developers.google.com/startups. If you would like to be a guest on the show, go to bit.ly/apply root access. That's it for now. See you next time.